Paul, we said this after the game on Saturday, second against third. You want to be involved in games like this at this stage of the season.
Oh, without a doubt, it's a great challenge for us. And when we spoke after Saturday, I did expect to be sat third. I thought that Stevenage would get a win on Tuesday night against Crewe, which they did, and they've taken that second place. But I've got to say, I'm delighted where we are. You know, if you look back a few weeks ago, we were loads of points away from those top places. Northampton were up there. We've managed to catch up a hell of a lot of points. We're sitting in a good position. Now the challenge is, for 11 games, can we go and finish this job off properly? Can we make sure we stay in the top places, ideally in those automatic? I still think it's a real challenge for us to be able to stay in the playoff places as well. So that's what we're looking to do, make sure we get enough points so that we're still involved come the end of the season.
I mean, on that, we got back to the car on Saturday after we'd done the interview, and all the other journalists had spoken to you as well. And first thing I said to Amy was, wow, not one of us has mentioned 4 in a row. And that is one heck of an achievement, again, at this stage of the season.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you know, especially on the back of the 3 games where we never scored a goal. But that's what happens when you get a bit of momentum, when it's on a negative side of momentum. It's really hard to break that. When you get the good side of it and everything's going positive, you just keep going and you just keep rolling on. And maybe that's what happened with our 96-minute winner at Swindon. That's what happens. Players have belief. Players keep going, keep battling. They suddenly get a burst of energy that you probably don't get when you're losing games. And we've got to make sure we keep doing that. We've got to keep going, because this weekend's going to be a tough challenge. In fact, I look at the next 4 games, with this one Saturday, with Bradford away, Gillingham away, Orient away. Some really tough games. But if we can do this properly, this little block of games, we can be in a really good position.
And 5 in a row, that has to be a challenge that you set the players, because that's something they haven't done yet this season. It's a real marker if they do.
Yeah, if you can do that, that is some going. I don't care what level you're at. If you can win 5 consecutive games, that's good going. And we've got to do that. We're now facing a Stevenage side who've come through a real rocky patch. They've now had 2 straight wins. So it's all to play for. Really good game at home. Hopefully we're going to have a good turnout from our own supporters. Hopefully we can have a good atmosphere. And then the biggest thing is we've got to make sure we put on a performance.
It is about us, but they are a good side. They've had the good league season. The cup, I think they got to Stoke in the 4th round. It's a team that is on a high at the moment.
Oh no, they're a good side. You know, the league table says they're the 2nd best team in the league at the moment, and we're the 3rd best. So we've got to keep going now. We've got to go and try and see if we can leapfrog them, because you know, we know, regardless of what else is going on in the world, on Saturday evening, if we've done our job right, we can be jumping back up to 2nd place. And that's all we've got to focus on. We just make sure we do ours right. We know what their threats are going to be. We know what they're all about. They're a really tough side to play against. They're physical, they're aggressive, they get the ball forward, they've got forward players who can get goals. That said, so have we. We've got some good players. We've got a side that's playing with real belief, with confidence, and is really looking forward to the challenge.
How much is this stage of the season and a game like this about coping with the mental aspect and the nerves that come from the fans who all desperately want success as well?
Yeah, I think it's being able to manage expectations and handle expectations, because I'm quite sure everybody will turn up on Saturday thinking we're at home, we should win this game. And it isn't going to be that straightforward. We're going to have to work hard, we're going to have to compete, we're going to have to be good on the ball and good off the ball. And if we can do all of those things, we will be fine. And I just think this is the next one. It's not a case of it's different, it's not. It's the next game for us. Players are used to playing games of football. Maybe we're not as used to playing games at the top end of the table, but we'll see what we're made of, and hopefully we'll show the best side of us.
You prepare differently. You always say it's about us. Do you prepare differently when it's a team like Stevenage who have had a great season and have got those threats?
Not at all. No, we'll prepare exactly the same way, because, you know, footballers are not stupid. They know what Stevenage are like. I would imagine if I asked the players to present to me what they're going to expect from Stevenage, I think they'd be able to tell me. You know, already this morning in training, I'm hearing a few of them talking about watching bits of their game last night, the highlights from it and stuff like that. So we know what to expect. We know what's going to come. They'll have watched the Football League highlights every weekend, and they know what they are. So we're ready. We'll prepare. We'll do all of our last bits on Friday and make sure they're all ready to go. And we're looking forward to it.
I mean, this is no disrespect to Stevenage. They don't travel in numbers, but that's the type of club they are. So we've gone through 5,000, I think it is already, for home fans. It's going to be another factor for the lads to deal with and hopefully use to their benefit.
Yeah, well, they've responded really well to having a good following of supporters behind them so far this season. And if you are going to be up at the top of the table, if you've earned that right, you have to accept that the knock-on is you're going to get more fans coming to watch you. That's what you want. That's certainly what I wanted as a kid. I wanted to be playing in full stadiums with noisy crowds, with positive crowds. And that's what we want this weekend, a positive crowd that gets even more positive because of our performance. And if we do that, we'll have a good day.
That's the two-way street you keep talking about, isn't it? The lads know they're going to be here in numbers, go out and give them something.
Yeah, we have to. Yeah, because, you know, they're coming to see us do well. They're not coming to watch us play badly. So we want to do well for them because that encourages them to come for the next one. I know there's lots of promotions going on to try and get a big crowd for the Tranmere game. We've got some big games before that and we need the support. We're going to need her at Bradford, which I believe we've got real good numbers going there. We'll need her at Gillingham, we'll need them at Orient, which in the past we've had that as well. So let's get Stevenage dealt with first. Let's get the performance right. Let's get the whole atmosphere right. Let's get the result right, and then the next one will take care of itself.
And on that promotional campaign, we've got businesses who are buying bundles of tickets up to 500 in number. We've got small businesses, individuals doing the same in different numbers. Everybody's getting behind that push, which tells us everybody's getting behind you and the lads.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I mean, the whole... And I go back to last February and I keep saying it, the whole feeling towards the football club has been brilliant, and the way that everybody's jumping on board and wanting to come and support us, and supporting I mean vocally and financially, that's brilliant. That's what's going to help us to move forward. We've still got lots of challenges ahead, but if everybody can just stick together and try and remain positive, then we can make it a real positive end to the season.
And it is a huge 11 games, isn't it? There's so much at stake, and I'm sure everybody in that dressing room knows exactly what is at stake.
Yeah, of course they do. Yeah, you look at the league table and you know that for me, there's different things about getting success. There's the financial rewards that go with the success, or there's the fact that you've got a promotion on your CV, and that's where we are. We have an opportunity to get some success here. I totally understand, and I know there's a hell of a lot to go. There's 33 points to play for. We know where we are in terms of our points total now. I haven't even spoken to the players about what's needed because we don't know. Everybody plays each other. You know, I can go off my graph that I've got, which tells me what it's been for the last 5 years. This year might be different. It might not be that. We're doing okay. We're on course to be successful, and we've got to make sure over the last games we keep that course right.
And players to support that course. On Tuesday we saw some significant returns. Josh Dixon gets a half, Ben Barkley's playing, Dev's playing 90 minutes in fact. Good to have them back and pushing.
Really good. We're going to get some good options over the next few weeks. So a stronger, bigger squad to choose from. The boys who are playing at the moment are doing really, really well. So these ones who are on the fringes, they're going to have to work extremely hard to get in. But we've got lots of games coming. You know, we've got the Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday. We've then got Friday, Monday over the Easter period. So we're going to need them all, and then that's up to me to pick the right ones, to pick the right 11, to pick the right 7, to give us options off the bench, and hope that the ones who are not involved in that 11 or 18 stay together, keep doing the right things, because that's the message that I've given to the whole group again today, is that 7 weeks to go. If we can all stay together and do the right things while we're in here together, while we're away from the club, then we can make it a good end to the season.
Horrible conditions Tuesday. How important was a game like that for all of the first team lads who were involved?
Oh, really important, because you can do so much in training, but you can't actually replicate a match situation. And I know it was difficult conditions over there, good opposition against Middlesbrough, but it was a good run out for the lads. You know, a lot of them got 90 minutes under the belt, which will do them really good, because they need that. There's definitely a difference between the stimulus that you get during training to what you would get in a game. We can do the distance, that's not a problem in training, but it's getting that match practice, that game understanding that we needed to keep getting into the players, and that's what Tuesday did for us. So it's been a real good week in that respect. No issues around injuries from it. Everybody came through okay. Everybody's okay now, and we've just got to keep moving forward.
Jack Ellis and Brendan Dickinson, where are they at, boss?
Brendan Dickinson's continuing to run, but he's still a number of weeks away. Jack Ellis is back in with the group for part of the session today. I think he's going to do the full session on Friday with a view to joining in full training next week, so he's going really well, and hopefully he'll be okay. Finn back, where we're hoping he's going to play some match minutes next week for Forest in a training game, and then he will come back to us possibly the week after. So there are a lot of positive signs that we're getting bodies back in, bodies available. Fingers crossed it stays that way.
That competition for places that really adds to it at this stage of the season, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely does, because even I keep thinking about Jack Robinson and what an effect he's had on the group, and a lot of people will say, well, he's hardly played any minutes, but what he has done is raised Jack Armour's levels, and Jack is now performing to a real good level. So it's having competition that pushes each of the ones in the side to make sure they keep at a good level.
Jack Armour's reward for scoring the goal of the year is a significant contract extension. Paul, what's the thinking behind the length of that deal and keeping Jack?
Well, we were originally talking about a 2-year contract, and then I realised that he's still he's at an age where he can then go on a Bosman at the end of the 2 years, and I didn't want us to do all of that work and then he suddenly walks away for nothing. So we managed to agree a 3-year deal with him. So I'm absolutely delighted to keep him. We've been speaking with a number of players. I mean, we've got, the way the contracts are, we've got quite a lot of lads who have options on the contract, options in our favour. So we know that we can keep them come the end of the season, so we don't really need to rush and do anything about that. But there was some that we wanted to get sorted out. There's others who want to wait till the end of the season, which I totally respect. I've got no problem with that at all. And we'll keep working, we'll keep trying to go about it quietly. What I didn't want is a big group of players all talking about new contracts and suddenly their heads get distracted and get swayed and take away from what we're doing. So I've tasked Greg with speaking to their agents about this sort of stuff, and then I only get involved right at the end of it. Thankfully we've got these two done. Who knows, there may be more to follow.
You mentioned too, the second one, Callum Guy, too, with an option. So again, that's another significant commitment to him. But he loves it here. Yeah,
he does, yeah. And his performances have been outstanding and he thoroughly deserves this extension. I'm pleased we've got them both because they're both at a good age. I mean, Jack's still very, very young. Callum's experience, he's got a good number of games under his belt now. And hopefully they can both carry on performing to the level and doing a job for the club.
Just to round things off, Paul, you don't do the wild prediction things, but I'm going to repeat what we said earlier. We've given ourselves a chance. Hopefully we do the job.
Well, no, that's it. That's what we want to do. I mean, I said this at the start of the season. You build your whole season up. You periodise it and you're working to get to a level so that when you come to the last 10 games, you're in a position to do yourself a favour. Now, I'm going to be really honest with you. When I was periodising this season and looking at the last 10, I was thinking to make sure we stay in League 2. We've got a massive bonus here because we're now looking to try and achieve something even bigger and better. And after the work we've done for 35 games, starting back at the end of last June, we're now in a really good position to push on. And that's all we're hoping. We'll give it our best shot. Who knows where it'll take us, because we've got lots of other teams who want to try and knock us off our bike. But hopefully we can keep going and achieve something really special.